Mr. William, thank you so much for giving me a couple of minutes to talk about this fascinating film. Let me start by asking you, you're a veteran TV director, and although you started your career with a film, you have made most of it on TV projects. Now you jump to the cinema format. Why did you choose this project? What was that specific thing that about this story that triggered that interest in choosing it for your cinema comeback?
Well, this story of Joseph Bologna, Chevalier, is a story that I feel pretty confident in saying most people have never heard of before. So that was like immediately from the jump. Yeah. So was I, by the way.
Okay.
So from the jump, that was intriguing. How was it possible that this person who had been essentially like the Prince or the Jimi Hendrix of his time, who had been this rock star of mid 1700s France, how had we never heard of him before? So that was the first, immediate kind of, enticement for me to try to make this movie. And then beyond that, Joseph's from Guadeloupe, an island in the Caribbean. I'm from Jamaica, an island in the Caribbean, and our life trajectories were similar in enough ways that it felt really personal to me. And so those two things combined made it, an irresistible challenge to take on.
Love the character, and I feel identified too. So I love the first sequence between Mozart and Chevalier and Joseph. It's a great introduction to the character. A lot of things are established there. His virtuosity, maybe his arrogance, that we start to understand why the film progresses. So tell me a little bit about that scene. Creative liberties aside, how close to history was that moment with Mozart, and how much fun was it to introduce this sophisticated Black actor to this old white society?
It was a lot of fun to shoot that scene. Our movie is an exercise in imaginative biography. It is not quite a biopic. So, there are aspects of the movie that are absolutely historically accurate, and other aspects of the movie that we felt were imaginatively true, right? They may not have been factual, but they felt true. And so that opening scene is actually a riff on a real life event that happened between Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton. And if you're not familiar with it, you can Google it.
Excellent.
When Eric Clapton was a member of a British band called Cream, and he was super famous, Jimi Hendrix was in the audience, and he asked to be invited up on stage to play with Clapton. And Clapton said, yes, you can. And Hendrix came up on stage and shredded, and Clapton, ran to the wings and went, who is that guy? And we felt like in history, Mozart and Chevalier shared the same apartment building for about 3 months in Paris. And there are those musicologists and historians who believe that there is some cross-pollination between the music flowing in the direction of Chevalier to Mozart and not the other way around. And so that opening sequence felt like a great way to kind of address all of those things and to show just how virtuosic Chevalier was as a violinist.
Again, now I love the film even more with that explanation. What was the most fascinating thing that you learned from this story that you maybe didn't know?
I tell you, I did not know that Napoleon in 1802 had reinstated slavery from French in the French colonies after it had been abolished in the revolution, early 1790s. I had no idea that, and unfortunately, France has the dubious distinction of being the only European nation to reinstate slavery after its abolishment. So that was certain on the macro level, one of the things that I had never known. But, just about every aspect of Joseph's journey was something that I felt had contemporary relevance and was therefore familiar to me on some level, but I didn't specifically know.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So, what would you have liked to integrate or to add to the incredible story of this Black Mozart that perhaps for creative reasons, maybe budget, etc., you could not either shoot or include in the film?
There's Joseph's life is so rich. You could make 3 movies about this guy and not exhaust all of his life story. He only lived until he was 53, but he accomplished a huge amount. And so I think there's a lot left for maybe other filmmakers to, or other producers to tackle. There's more of his story to be told, but we wanted to drill down into this portion of his life where the scales fell from his eyes and he came into a greater sense of self-awareness, where, you know, the musical revolutionary Bob Marley from my own country says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. That's the portion of Joseph's story that we were interested in telling in this movie.
Excellent. Thank you very much. My time is up. I love the music, the intense score for that climatic moment at the end. Kelvin, Samara, Lucy, the cast was incredible. So thank you so much for giving us an excellent, lovely, and fascinating film. And again, thank you. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you. And same to you. Really appreciate it.